A very warm welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Akanksha Swaroop. We begin this segment with a CNN News 18 world exclusive as Khalistani terrorist Gurpatwant Singh Pannun, who calls himself an advocate for Sikh rights, has now claimed that he's fighting for the welfare of Sikhs. But today, CNN News 18 has exposed the hypocrisy of Gurpatwant Singh Pannun. Your channel confronted Pannun on the recent treatment meted out to illegal Indian immigrants when they were being deported from the United States. CNN News 18's Group Editor, Investigations and Security Affairs, Mr. Manoj Gupta, has posed some direct questions, but Pannun had no answers. He ducked and dodged the questions, and instead of condemning Trump administration, he's blamed the Indian government. Not just that, Pannun even declared that he has nothing to do with civil rights or even of the Sikhs particularly. He admits that Sikhs for Justice has nothing to do with civil rights. We deep dive into that, but first let's also listen in to this exclusive conversation that CNN News 18's Group Editor, Investigations and Security Affairs Editor, Mr. Manoj Gupta had with Gurpatwant Singh Pannun. Listen in.
नहीं, मेरा लिमिटेड सवाल आपसे है मिस्टर पुन्नू. यू हैव बीन द एडवोकेट ऑफ बिगेस्ट सिख राइट्स इन यूएस अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड. But you have not spoken a single word. You have not.
I'm working for Khalistan.
No. But Mr. Pannun, you have not spoken. You have not spoken even a single word.
I'm not working on a civil rights case at all.
No. You have been talking about the civil rights only, Mr. Pannun. You have not.
India committed genocide of Sikhs.
No, Mr. Pannun. You have been talking about the Sikhs' rights only. You have not spoken even a single word. The way Trump government is treating them.
Committed genocide of Sikhs. There is a video.
No. Why are you deviating, Mr. Pannun? I always thought you are a brave man. You will reply on this. You should reply that why you have not spoken a single word against Trump.
This information. This is the same India that has.
No. You are. Mr. Pannun. Mr. Pannun, you are deviating from the topic. What I am trying to tell you. No. Why are you not replying to my question? Why are you not replying to my question?
Civil rights. Simple question.
I do not work on civil rights. I am not government, sir. I am not government.
Right to self-determination. You have to differentiate between civil rights
no,
and the
Mr.
genocide
Pannun,
that India committed.
Mr. Pannun, you are not replying to my question that you have not spoken
I'm
against.
replying directly. You are not listening.
No, I am listening. You should speak to. You reply to my answer first. No.
On civil rights cases.
No. Reply to my answer first. You should reply to my question first. You are talking about everything on Sikhs. You are talking, Mr. Pannun, you are talking everything on Sikhs.
In Delhi, brother, there is a genocide colony.
No. You are talking everything on Sikhs. No, Mr. Pannun, you are from Canada to every place on this earth. You have been talking about Sikhs. Why not talking about Trump government that this is wrong about Sikhs?
One-point agenda, Mr. Gupta, have one-point agenda.
So you will. Now I am concluding. I am concluding that you will.
Till I die,
Mr. Pannun, I am concluding that you will not speak anything on civil rights the way Trump government is treating Sikhs.
You are Trump administration. What you are doing?
No.
Spreading
Thanks for talking. Thanks for talking.
Prime Minister was sitting in his
Thanks for talking. No, रहने दो. आज आप जो है, let us not fight unnecessary for no reason when you are not ready. No.
Manoj bhai, I gave you the response. You are not listening.
No. You should give me a specific response of my question after that. No, Mr. Pannun, what I am trying to ask you that you are making noise on everything on Six issues. Sikhs have been restrained.
Not Sikh issues, only genocide issue and only.
No. You have been active on Muslim issues in India to everything. So what I am trying to ask you, why are you not raising a single voice on the Trump administration behavior, conduct, and the way the Sikhs have been restrained You have not raised even a single tweet. You have not written anything.
Then why wouldn't you listen to me?
No, you reply on this question. You reply on this question.
Okay. I work only on a human rights issue. That too, that India has committed. I am working on Sikhs' right to self-determination to make sure
So
that people
why?
Indian
So you
occupation-
are clearly
Yes.
saying that you are a ISI stooge, and that is why you are doing anti-India activities.
Brother, first you told me that I am an Indian agent stooge. Now you are saying ISI. Your government says I am CIA. Like, first you have to figure it out whose stooge I am.
All right, and on the broadcast, let me introduce our talking heads today. I'm joined in by CNN News 18's Anand Narasimhan, also joined in by Tara Karta, who's a former director at the NSCS, from Neek Singh, who's an activist as well. Many thanks to you all for joining in. Anand, when Pannu says, and I'm quoting him verbatim, I'm not a human rights activist who will take up this issue. Is this not hypocrisy?
There is nothing hypocrisy. Thy name is Gurpatwant Singh Pannun. Everybody knows. Terrorist, thy name is Gurpatwant Pannun. Opportunist, thy name is Gurpatwant Pannun. And a liar, thy name is Gurpatwant Pannun. It's all there. But this whole thing about Sikhs for justice. One, look at the picture that we have on our screen. Does he follow even the basic tenets of Sikhi? He doesn't. He runs an immigration racket. He's supposed to be a lawyer. Has he even uttered a single word about the number of illegals, largely Sikh, who have now been repatriated back to Bharat? Bharat has taken them back with open arms. But this man who said that he fights for the cause of Sikhs has said, I've got nothing to do with civil rights. So then what kind of, I am talking about human rights. So are civil rights not part of human rights? And so his agenda is very clear. The fact that he's starting to wear a pug and grow a dadi only because his hypocrisy has been called up, because he doesn't follow the basic tenet. Look at this visual. Does he look anywhere like a Sikh in the way he conducts himself and the way he presents himself? He is nothing but a stooge that Manoj Gupta called him out to. But bigger aspect, he should have actually, had this been somewhere else, had there been Afghan nationals, Afghan Sikhs who are being deported by Bharat or being sent back to Afghanistan, you think a Gurpatwant Pannun would not have stood up there to try and capitalize on this entire thing as a person? Here he is a US citizen, a lawyer there who runs an immigration business, and he has not got the gumption to call out the Trump administration and say, why are you sending them back? I'll fight their legal cases. He's not even offered them legal help. He's not offered them anything. He's just saying, I have nothing to do with these Sikhs. So when it suits his agenda, he will take this very lot, hire them, try and give them the fact that put them under pressure and get them to do his work, saying, I'll pay you some dollars per day. You stand there with a janda and do my job, and I'll try and see if I can secure immigration for you. He'll work with entities back home with whom he will try and secure these people, vulnerable people, and entrap them. Now he's saying, I've got nothing to do with these people. So I think what we've done here at CNN News 18 is that expose this person for the hypocrite he is. Ramneek Maan and Tara Karta are there with us. With your permission, Akanksha, just quickly go across to them for a question each, and then I'll hand it back to you. Tara Karta, this person has to be rejected by one and all. Nothing but an opportunist and a hypocrite. Because if he truly stood for Sikhs, he should have raised his voice and said, no, I'm a lawyer, I'll try and give them legal help.
Anand, you're absolutely right. I mean, at some level, this is hilarious. You know, the way that he sort of backs up saying, no, I'm just a lawyer for civil liberties. I mean, what is wrong with you? So he's thoroughly exposed as a person, as an opportunist who has no real feeling for any of our Sikhs. I mean, our Sikhs are our bravest among us, our population. We care for them. He does not. I think that is very clear. Second thing is, you know, the very fact that his whole outfit pushes for this so-called Khalistan, and he says you should be a neighbor of Pakistan, forgetting that much of so-called Khalistan lies in Pakistan. He never talks about that. It's all about what is there in India. So he is just a very clever lawyer who stops marginally short of making an outright threat. He has the brains for that. So, which makes it difficult for us to make a case against him, because he's a clever. He doesn't outright say, I will do XYZ. He says, warns people, don't go on this aircraft, don't go on this. I mean, he's a joke. I mean, sorry, that's just basically what he is.
No, but what he has also uttered on our phone call, and wonder if that boils down to some offense or not, that he wants to break Punjab away from Hindustan. He said that in that entire conversation where he got heated and he got the better of his emotions. Largely, he has said that he wants to run a referendum which will seek and get a vote out where the Punjabis will vote out to break away from Punjab. Right now, today on that conversation, while we are pushing him on the fact that he didn't stand up for Sikhs, while he calls himself to be the patron, chief patron of Sikhs for Justice, Ramnik Man, he said, I want to break Punjab away from India. That's what he has said. Now, does that put him into legal trouble anywhere? Does that allow us to go back and say, here is a US national who's orchestrating secessionist activity and take him to court? Yes, Ramnik Man.
So, 3 very quick points. Number one, the referendum that he refers to, is it recognized by the UN? Is it recognized by any international authority? I mean, what is he even running? He's running a farce. And he's collecting money in the name of these referendums. Let me remind you that he registered, the first time he registered Sikhs for Justice Incorporated as an organization in the US in 2009. And he was supposed to file returns, he was supposed to file documents. For 3 consecutive years, he did not do it, and his status of tax-free had gone away. And then he again registered an organization in 2019. And he again failed to file tax exemptions. So he has amassed millions of dollars in the name of Khalistan. Khalistan for him per se is just a showroom. It's just a dukandari. He's making money off Khalistan, number one. Number two, now so far as Pannu is concerned, these boys, young boys and girls, once they are deported from the US, they no longer are useful to him. They are absolutely not useful to him. And whether they are chained or whether they are shackled, it doesn't matter to him because his own constituency remains in the US. And that's what he does best. He collects money. See, I have said this time and again that he's being backed by not just the Canadians, CSIS or the ISI. He also gets a lot of money and support from the Chinese. We all know that the Chinese have a very, very strong presence in Canada. And there are a lot of affairs in which, whether it is international or within Canada, Chinese have a lot of influence there. So this man is collecting money left, right, center from the US deep state, from the Canadians, from the Pakistanis, from the Chinese, anywhere he can get money from. And he sells the idea of Khalistan, which is not happening. And like Tara rightly said, that his discussion is only the west, only towards the east of the Pakistan border. That's the Indian side of Punjab or Haryana or parts of Uttarakhand or parts of Rajasthan. He's gone right up to Delhi and parts of UP also. Telling he's put out a map. So once you look at his cartographical map that he puts out, and he does not stand for Sikhs who have been deported to India, he's not discussing any issue of Punjab, whether it is drug, deindustrialization, whether it is joblessness. He's got nothing to do with any of things in Punjab. Political agenda, 1, Khalistan, 2, Khalistan, 3, Khalistan, end of the story. That is what he's doing. Because why? Because it's money-making machine for him, Anand.
True. He has openly admitted to working towards balkanization of Bharat. Now, will the US under this current Trump administration, under Kash Patel, try, tolerate this Tara Karta? And if he's a US citizen, he's got federal help. Many believe that the CIA and some of the federal institutions have been giving him protection and cover. Will that continue to remain right now under this current administration? Should Bharat not highlight the activities of this person, saying he's sitting in US, he's a US national and he's working against the interests of our country, he wants to break our country? Would you tolerate it? Is this the America that Trump administration actually visualizes? Is this perhaps our best time to say, send him back to, hand him over to us, or you bring him to justice?
There's one aspect to what Mr. Mann said. The fact that he has a ton of money. He offered $2,500 if you go and do a prayer at the Akal Takht. Where is he getting this money? Connected to that is the present government, the Trump administration's position on terrorism. Just look at the joint statement. Very interesting. They are talking of we will also reduce narcotics and human smuggling across the Canada border. Who does the Canadian thing? These are Khalistanis who are doing it. They are heavily involved. So his funding is going to get cut off. So that aspect is not something Trump is going to ever take his eyes off. the narcotics, drug smuggling, and a bunch of stuff, human smuggling, like we said, human smuggling, if that can be traced back to Pannun's outfit, Sikhs for Justice, then they are done for. That is one. Second is, I think we need to take this up very strongly. I mean, what if a group sat down here and said, oh, the Mexico, or what should I, sorry, not Mexico, that, parts of, say, Alaska should secede from the US. I mean, most of us wouldn't take it seriously, but it is an offense.
Right.
It is an offense. So I think we need to take this up. I think they're going to go after him because, no, frankly speaking, President Trump is least interested in this kind of thing. However, there is a problem. This guy last year, I think, sent a letter to China saying, we sympathize with you on the incident that Indian soldiers have killed Chinese and things like that. He did all that. He sent it to Putin. Putin told him to go fly a kite. But what reaction he got from the Chinese, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to make any accusations. We may not. But we do know that Khalistani activities shot up last year. It
Right.
shot across. So we need to keep an eye on that.
No, whether that was being pushed by the Biden administration or the US aid and the deep state there, or was there a Chinese involvement? These are questions. But interestingly, he talked about Aam Aadmi Party, talked about Punjab politics. He talked about COVID and vaccines. He also got involved with Modi and the elections, and he's got everything to say about them. He talks about the Chinese, he talks about Galwan, but he will not talk about Sikhs who are being deported out of the country. And he says, sorry, that's not my domain, Akanksha. So that's where things are, and that's where this hypocrite, this terrorist, this opportunist stands exposed here on CNN News 18.
Absolutely. I want to bring in Ramneek Singh on that note. Ramneek, the fact that, most of these deportees, the Sikh ones, they've shared harrowing experiences, that their turbans were removed in the deportation camps. They were humiliated. And for somebody who is believed to be talking about advocacy, I think the moot question right now is, what kind of advocacy is he talking about? What is this funding that's in fact funding Sikhs for Justice? Also, is Pannu right now on shaky grounds? Going back to the fact that he also attended Donald Trump's inauguration ceremony, and the way Donald Trump's administration is clamping down on US aid and how it has been causing disturbances in Asia, not just India, even Bangladesh and Nepal. Today itself, there's a statement coming in from the US president. Do you think that Pannu is someone that the Indian government can now address actively with the current Trump administration?
Well, that really depends, because Pannu has been an asset of the CSIS and the CIA for a long time. And if they choose to drop him like a hot potato, then for sure you will see a clampdown on his organization as well as on him. But when you ask specific questions as to, how is he going to be treated in the days to come after he being invited to the inauguration of Trump? See, I believe that, the US administration now, given the relations with India, would not prefer to side and align with these instruments and take India on the wrong side. India and the US, like the Prime Minister said, 1 + 1 are 11, and he talked about mega. So I mean, see, it may be good for optics, all right, but when it comes down to the real action on ground,
Right.
I believe.
No, why I say that, Ramneek, because one of the journalists had posed a similar question to the US president with regards to Bangladesh, with regards to Khalistan, to which the US president had said that I'll leave the South Asian country to the prime minister. So I think that bit of non-meddling compared to the Biden administration is also good news.
That was a very, very strong statement from the US President Trump, that when talked about Bangladesh, he said, I leave that to the Prime Minister. So that was a strong statement, but what happened behind the curtains is not known. Again, like I said before, if the US deep state or the CIA or the national intelligence of the US, they decide to drop him, then you will see a massive clampdown. But again, we as Indians have to raise our voice against him, and we have to, like Anand said, that once somebody openly talks about secessionism and separatism in India, he has actually promoted and he has given out cash rewards to young boys, to hoist the Khalistani flag over DC offices and other judicial complexes. You've seen, the Dharamsala, Vidhan Sabha getting vandalized by these people. So he has encouraged secessionism and acts of violence in India, and he's paid for it. So, but also, Anand, very interestingly, there are a lot of young boys who are still in jail because of his acts and his provocations, and he has actually abandoned them in Punjab. So far as the people in Punjab on ground are concerned, nobody takes him seriously. I believe all that is left of Pannu is a nuisance value in the media, and ground realities for Pannu are very different in India from what people will perceive in the US or Canada.
See, ironical that he has never even stepped into Bharat. He's not come in. So I know Ramnik Man will beat me to the airport, but there are others who will beat Ramnik Man to the airport to get a hold of this person and to teach him a lesson for what he's doing.
Oh, in fact, I had given him an offer. I'll pay for his tickets one way. If he wishes to come to India, I'll pay for him.
The whole game that is being played, and that's why we need to understand that if we look at it, Akanksha, and just a quick question to Tarakarta before we go on. His whole logic is lopsided. We've proven that cartographically. Because if he talked about Punjab, then he should have talked about the Punjab of Raja Ranjit Singh. He doesn't talk about. He talks about territory that does not belong to Punjabis. It is actually sovereign Indian territory. You mentioned that he doesn't talk about anything that lies in the Pakistani part. All of that has been exposed. But the other thing is that if you are really championing a referendum, shouldn't you be doing it in our country? An American citizen is pushing for a referendum in another country and he's openly talking about balkanization. If that is not act against the Indian state, then what is? And he is on record with CNN-News18 right now. Shouldn't the Indian authorities take this to the Americans and say, listen, are you okay with us doing this on our soil?
I think that CNN-News18 interview is a very, very interesting one. And it's brilliant that you managed to do this. I think you need the Indian state should examine that tape very carefully to see what this man might have said in haste. Otherwise, he's very careful. So it is something we should take up. But the only thing is, as Mr. Man said, you need to make a fine balance in fixing this guy and not giving him too much of publicity. Because like you said, he has nothing in Punjab, right? Why make him into a martyr or anything of the sort? Let's, like we said, expose him as a charlatan and as someone who's vaguely funny, put him in that level and then see what you can do about him. But don't give him that. He's dying.
It's what he's doing on foreign soil with Indian immigrants. And what they're doing, his entire group, a bunch of louts that they are, who are seeding themselves into polity, in administration, especially in the Five Eyes nations, and then trying to create a particular political narrative and the funding coming from nefarious elements. This logistical support, ferrying of fentanyl, drugs into other countries, illegal immigration, trafficking, human trafficking, gangsters, all of this is what is getting them this money. And somewhere there seemed to be a certain state, tacit from the shadows backing. Be it the Canadian state, be it the American state, erstwhile, or be it Chinese elements, however they were elements who were inimical to our country, who wanted to see India destabilized and troubled, who were trying to foment this social friction. That needs to be addressed and seriously. And he is just the figurehead. There is a huge lot which is behind the scenes, which is pulling the strings. He's just the puppet, and like he's the clown. Yes, Akanksha.
No, that's all. In fact, we have over here. Many thanks to you, Anand, Tara and Ramnik, for sharing your precious insights with us. But quickly, let's also take our viewers through what the intel sources, while speaking to CNN News 18, revealed that Pannu has further exposed himself. They revealed that Pannu has been working for Sikhs for Justice, a proscribed organization under UAPA, and has been actively involved in promoting Khalistani extremism. Now, Pannu's silence on restraints on deportees has in itself exposed his hypocrisy. It's exposed Pannu's own propaganda on spreading hatred, especially when it comes to standing for the rights of the Sikhs. He has been a mute spectator. Pannu has advocated for Khalistani only for his own personal gains. Nobody knows who's funding him. Pannu's attacks on India are not ideological, remember. They are being paid for to, in fact, spread a certain propaganda. His silence on the inhumane treatment has now raised doubts about his own agenda and what is he standing for if it is not as far as advocacy for Sikh rights is concerned. In fact, with that, I'm slipping into a quick break. Thank you so much for watching this CNN News 18 World Exclusive.